there is this. Former FBI Director Jim Comey, now the first of the Obama-era officials indicted for charges stemming from the Russiagate hoax and investigation. Comey is facing 2 counts, lying to Congress and obstruction of justice. But former House Intelligence Committee Chairman and current Trump media CEO Devin Nunes told me on Sunday it is possible more charges could be coming for Comey and more former intelligence officials. Watch.
Comey has long been a liar, a leaker. He's dishonest. He ruined the FBI. He will be lucky if there is not a grand conspiracy charge brought, which is really what should be brought against probably about 24 characters in the United States over the last 7-8 years.
Should there be more charges against Jim Comey?
Very specific, and it's over whether or not he lied on this one part. The larger part is whether or not you can bring a kind of grand conspiracy case. And, people talk about, there's the law, which is, lying to Congress, lying to the FBI, but there's also a term in there called misleading. And what a lot of these guys did is they made up things using intelligence that didn't exist, but acted like they knew something that actually wasn't there, and they lied and misled the American people. The only intelligence that they had is that the Russians were very well aware of Clinton's plan, and they actually not only thought Clinton was going to win, but likely preferred that she would win. So going back to the cover-up of her missing emails, that, by the way, are still missing, they all got involved in this plan. They all got the FBI exercise.
So they knew that Hillary Clinton had come up with this plan, and did they mislead the court that they knew it? South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham also said that the obstruction of justice charge goes way beyond just leaking classified information, and it, too, could lead to a conspiracy charge. Watch.
I think obstruction was more than leaking classified information. I think the obstruction includes withholding exculpatory information to the FISA court where he had a duty to do it. I think the obstruction includes lying about the grand conspiracy here. And I think the obstruction includes not investigating leads that could have exonerated Trump. Yeah. They wanted Trump to be guilty. Every time they had information that it may not be him, they ignored it. Yeah. I think this is much bigger than leaking classified information. I think there's a conspiracy charge that could be made. Again, he's presumed innocent, but this obstruction goes well beyond leaking information, classified information. I think there was an effort to withhold exculpatory information, not to investigate credible leads that Trump may not have done this.
Joining me now in this Fox Business exclusive is the Attorney General of the United States, Pam Bondi. AG, it's great to see you this morning. Thanks so much for spending the time.
Thanks, Maria. You too.
So let me get your take on what you just heard from Devin Nunes and Lindsey Graham on the potential for a conspiracy charge against Jim Comey. Are more charges coming?
Maria, I can't comment on anything pending right now within the Justice Department, whether there is or is not an ongoing investigation. He's already been charged, but nothing is off the table, and they're 2 very wise men, but I can't comment on anything regarding that right now.
Okay, understood. Lindsey Graham sent a letter to Kash Patel asking him if he knows if the FBI did an investigation into Hillary Clinton's emails so that we can get a better understanding if they, in fact, knew that Hillary Clinton had come up with this plan and they misled people. So that's why I ask you the question.
Yeah, there's so much, Maria, out there. They weaponized this government for 4 years, and the weaponization has ended under Donald Trump. No longer will they weaponize the government. No longer will they attack people with lawsuits, with crimes. What they've been doing to this country the last 4 years was horrendous. It's ended now. And we're going to look at everything. We're not going to leave a stone unturned. The FBI is doing a great job investigating many things. We just can't talk about the specifics of anything right now.
Well, thank you for that. This audience knows very well everything that took place. We have been on this story for 10 years, literally, so we would like to see accountability. Thank you for that, AG. We'll be watching your work on all of this. Let me move on to crime and federal agents arriving in Memphis, Tennessee this week. President Trump's Memphis Safe Task Force beginning its operation. Protests are erupting in Portland, Oregon, after the president announced he's sending in 200 National Guard troops. Oregon is now suing the administration over this, and the Department of Homeland Security requesting 100 troops into Illinois to help protect the facilities following the attack on an ICE facility in Dallas where 3 detainees were shot. Fox can confirm a second detainee was shot and on life support. He died this morning, AG. How are you dealing with this pushback from Democrats wanting to stop your efforts to make people feel safer?
Yeah, don't you find it interesting that the highest crime rate cities don't want their cities to be protected? It's truly remarkable that they're arguing with us that they don't want the National Guard in to protect them. I'm on the phone with Christine and with Pete Hegseth constantly, all of our agencies. Here's what we're doing in Chicago first. We are you've got a governor who doesn't want to help us. You've got mayors who don't want to help us. You've got woke DAs who don't want to help us. So if they're not going to help the people of their cities, we're going to help them. We're sending in FBI, of course, DEA, U.S. Marshals, ATF to back up our ICE men and women who are there following the law. We're doing that in Chicago and, yes, in Portland. Troops are going to come into Portland. In Memphis right now, last night was the first night of our operation making Memphis safe again, Maria. It's exactly what we did in D.C. We're using the same blueprint. Secretary Hegseth and I are going to be out there this week with our people in Memphis. Maria, last night we arrested, I think this is breaking news, we arrested 9 people, two guns off the street in our first night of the surge. Here's what's different in Memphis. We have a mayor who's cooperating with us. Mayor Young is cooperating. We've got our 2 senators, Senator Haggerty and Senator Blackburn, who are helping us. We have Governor Lee, who's working hand in hand with us. We've already had Kash Patel and the FBI in there already, making multiple arrests and lowering the surge. Now we have our U.S. Marshals, our DEA, our FBI, and we have additional officers, and we have them working hand in hand with the National Guard. Last night, we deputized 219 members of the National Guard to be special U.S. Marshals. And we're going to keep fighting. Here's why. In 2024, Memphis had the highest violent crime rate in the entire country. That's outrageous. And so many businesses are pouring into Memphis, so many great AI companies, tech companies, and we want to make Memphis safe for them. The mayor wants to make it safe, and we're going to work hand in hand with them. In 2025, they've already had 149 homicides, and it's going to stop, and it's going to stop now thanks to Donald Trump. He's going to protect these cities. We're going to protect all of these great cities around the country, and we're going to go in and help all of them one by one and keep them safe.
Yeah, last night was the first surge in Memphis, and you're going there on Wednesday morning with Pete Hegseth. What are you going to be looking for specifically, AG? And why do you think there's so much violence in these cities? What is prompting this?
Well, I can tell you the violence. First of all, an 18-year-old murdered a Memphis police officer, and he had been let out without any bail just prior to that murder. Because you have a woke Soros DA there. They're letting people out. They're not holding them accountable. So we're coming in with all of our federal agents, and we're going to charge them federally whenever possible. We're going to keep them in federal custody, no officers, no offers. And if you touch a federal officer, you will be prosecuted. You touch a federal officer, and we're going to hold you in jail, in a federal jail, and we are going to prosecute you. That's what's going to stop crime. And working hand in hand with the local Memphis Police Department, they've been great. We're going to come in and share intelligence and get these violent criminals off the street. It's got to stop. I mean, these are our cities. Memphis is a beautiful historical city, and people are getting killed every day. 125 murders so far. Last night, we got 2 guns off the street, and that's just the beginning. So Secretary Hegseth and I are going in there together this week. We're going to meet. I did it the whole time we were in D.C. We're meeting with all of our troops, meaning all of our federal agents, all of the state police on the ground to show them that we support them. We're meeting with the mayor, all the locals, so we can work hand in hand to make Memphis safe again. And it's a shame that Portland, that Chicago, that these cities aren't begging Donald Trump to come in there and help them.
Yeah, it's just incredible. I mean, finally, some accountability. I want to get your take on this 37 people that Joe Biden commuted from death row. You recently ordered 8 federal inmates, once on death row for multiple murders, to be transferred to the notorious Supermax prison in Colorado. Now, former President Biden commuted the sentences of those 37 federal death row inmates a month before leaving office. Why? Did he do it, or was that the auto pen? He moved the classification from execution to life without the possibility of parole. AG, what do you want to say about that? I know you met with the families, right? You met with the victims' families here.
I did, Maria. I met with almost all of the 37 families from all different parts of this country. Some of the most horrific, violent crimes you can ever imagine. Just horrific people gunned down, a family, a husband and wife in a park gunned down, a bank teller gunned down, met with all of their family members, just horrific, violent rapes and murders of people. And some of them, it made the heartbreak even worse because they learned about it on Christmas Eve. The Biden administration, and I say the administration because I firmly believe Joe Biden didn't know what was happening. The Biden administration didn't even let these families know this was happening. And then they're learning about it Christmas Eve. They're doing this. They're giving gifts to some of the worst murderers. So I met with all of these families and I told them, I said, we're looking at everything. I can't talk about the auto pen right now, Maria, for good reason. We're looking at everything. But what I can do for these families is I can put these monsters like they're sitting on death row, and I'm moving them to the Supermax facility. Just learned that some of them are suing me. I find that rich, don't you? These inmates are suing me. So we're going to put them in the Supermax facility, and they are going to be treated like they're still sitting on death row, because that's how they should. We found that some of them were taking art classes. They were sitting out in the sun at these prison facilities after Biden administration let them off death row. And these families, these victims' families, deserve so much more than that. And we're going to help them every step of the way.
Again, I mean, why these cities and why this significant violence? Is it all because of these policies that make it impossible to see any consequences for crime?
Well, sure. You have these woke DAs who are Soros appointed. A lot of them are Soros elected. They're DAs. They should be public defenders. They shouldn't be prosecutors when they're letting people out. They're not even arguing to keep violent criminals in on bond. They get out and they're killing other people. They're committing horrific crimes, and there are no consequences. So we're coming in federally because there are consequences under Donald Trump. You will go to prison.
Now, how do you stop the funding of these radical groups? Anna Paulina Luna sent a letter to the DOJ and FBI recently talking about one group, Neville Singman, who she said is having ties to the Communist Party and is funding a lot of this violence. We know that President Trump has said that George Soros has been funding all of this, and he's going to look into it. How do you stop that?
Yeah, and Maria, Representative Congresswoman Luna has sent us some great information. We're looking at everything. I've spoken to her. She's been great trying to help this administration, but nothing is off the table. It doesn't matter if you're a billionaire. It doesn't matter who you are. If you're helping to fund these organizations who are committing violent acts, we are looking at you. That's as much as I can say now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to understand how much of this is domestic and how much of this is coming from outside forces, international forces, adversarial forces, because I know that there has been this Marxist thread running through this economy, running through America now for a little while. And I'm wondering if the CCP is behind some of this to continue undermining the U.S.
You're very wise, Maria. That's all I'll say. But Kash Patel and our FBI agents and our National Security Division, we're looking at everything because we also have to have fair and free elections in this country as well.
Yeah, for sure. And so you're looking at Memphis, you're going to Chicago, you're looking at these big cities. What is next on the list for you, AG, in terms of the potential for federal troops to go and put the laws down on safety?
Well, we had a lot of meetings yesterday about Portland, of course. We're going to go in there. We're going to protect our ICE officers. I issued a memo late yesterday to help Secretary Noem saying that in Chicago, in Portland, in all of these cities where they are refusing National Guard, these governors don't want to deploy their own National Guard, but we can send in more FBI agents, more ATF, more DEA, more marshals to help the state police do their job because the state elected officials aren't helping them. It's truly remarkable that they don't want to keep the people of their own cities safe, but Donald Trump does. We're going to help keep all Americans safe, regardless of what these local officials want, and hopefully they won't be in office much longer.
All right, AG, we so appreciate your work and your leadership on all of this. Thanks for being here this morning.
Thank you, Maria.
All right, AG Pam Bondi.